Welcome.
Bienvenidos, bienvenidas.
Willkommen.
Ahla wa sahla to breakfast together.
Welcome 2025.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, gott nytt år.
We are back. I think everybody missed us, right?
We did miss you, our dear audience, and we're very happy to be back. And hopefully, you're somewhere cozy and comfortable. Get ready for another interesting episode.
And another interesting year because we have a lot of new things coming. We mentioned a few in the previous episode. So, yeah, looking forward to a nice year.
Yes, we rested well, we ate well, and now we're ready to get going with our goals, including, of course, you would have guessed it, language goals,
No, it
obviously.
was food. It was food. I think it was food. Talking about food again.
Yeah, actually, guys, sorry, plot twist. It's a food
It's
episode.
food episode number 4.
Food episode. Or it's, we tricked you. It was
They're gonna know. They're gonna know. They're definitely gonna know.
Mhm. But now you got me curious, Asya. What are you learning then? What is your new method? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
that sounds interesting.
Ooh.
Aha.
Oh,
That was Friends. That was Friends, right?
but Catalan man, obviously.
But have you? I have a question here. Have you had like already like a base level? How did you start? Because that's an interesting part. Like I think everybody really stuck when they want to learn a language that they don't have the base, and there's like, okay, I don't know anything, so I'm not gonna even start. Or how do I reach to a base that I can start enjoying the language?
Mm.
Nice.
Mm.
It stacks up.
Yeah. So you do. So you do it every day, or you have also the like the in diet they call them cheat meals or cheat days. Do you have also cheat days in your? No. Nice, old school.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Do they still exist?
Do they still sell pens and paper in 2025? Pen and paper is so 2024. Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm. There was there
Mm.
was even a study that they basically tested two groups of people, and one group was typing information, new information, and one group was writing it down with like pen and paper. And they tested them after, and the group with the pen and paper actually remembered things a lot better than the other group. So
Yeah,
there's even scientific proof for your method, Asya.
absolutely. And as the old classic Japanese goes, I have an apple, I have a pen. Those who have heard those who have heard this song
Words.
before, those who haven't, go to YouTube and type pineapple pen. And if you had a bad day, you're gonna have a lot of you're gonna have a good laugh. But yeah, as the old song goes, the pen method cannot go wrong, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And do you learn also like the? I know the Japanese has three. I always confused why they have three scripts, but they have the kanji, which is the Chinese script or the Chinese loan words. I'm not quite sure. And then they have the hiragana, katakana, but I'm not quite sure. Do you learn them or do you?
I was also gonna ask this. Mhm. Ah,
Mm.
okay, makes sense. Right.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
Okay. No, why? My friend is doing that for Chinese. I mean, like, it's yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's a mix, right? It's a mix of you have to learn all of them. Okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a good start. I love the accent.
I think that this is a very a lot of people ask me like, oh, but like how to choose a language, or like I don't know like what to do. I think that you have you follow the, I don't know, the star method, like you have like measurable goal that you can achieve in a short amount of time. And you also, when anyone is learning a language, in order to understand where you want to reach like the level, you need to understand what's the purpose of learning. Do you want to talk to native, do you want to, and Asa, I feel like you are very clear with your goals, and to be clear with your goals is a huge part of the success.
Right.
So yeah, but this is I think a very common misconception, because people, especially in the modern world, we were talking a little bit about a similar topic before recording, are very overwhelmed. So sometimes when you start learning a new language, especially a language that is so different, as you said, where you have no base, people are like, "But what do I do? Do I learn how to ride? Do I not learn how to ride? Do I learn this? Do I learn that?" Well, have your goals and purpose for why and how you're going to use the language clearly, and I think that this is going to help you.
You're gonna lose track, in my opinion, if you don't have a goal. And it happened to me as well with friends. I didn't have a goal, and I just start learning, and in the end, I haven't reached like the level that I would like to have to be
Hmm.
able to communicate. Because yeah, now I can order the croissant.
Food is
um,
always a great motivator.
yes, yes. But I agree. I agree with that, and I think as yes, it's a good thing to say that yeah, I want to reach like a level of being able to talk to, ask for some directions maybe, or order in restaurant, and that's, and also what I want go back to what you said, because you don't really know if you will like continue with Japanese, right?
Mm.
So you want to just like take a bite, take like a bit like of a taste of the language, see if you like it. You don't really want to go like um, into learning kanji, into learning all the other two scripts and get overwhelmed. And then you will say that's the biggest problem, right? Everybody has that. You get overwhelmed from something and then you just quit and you say, I didn't like X language because it was like too much for me. So you just like taste a bit and go back to it. No.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
like the little like travel guide kind of text.
Travel anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because Asa is not the only one who has started a new language. I know of someone else.
I can smell some feijoada here.
Exactly, exactly. There is some
Yeah.
sound of
I think you're
samba.
just trying to redeem me. Yes. Oh, really? No. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's actually not 2025, but it started a bit earlier. Actually, it started as a challenge, as a dare, because we were meeting a lot of wonderful Brazilian people in the Polyglot Gathering last year, and it's such a fun language to talk in and pronounce. So we just thought, okay, let's learn Portuguese in 6 months and go to Brazil for the carnival. Somebody dropped out of the challenge. Some other countries got higher priority, but um, but I kept at the challenge, and actually, it's been a
Dedication.
very interesting language journey for me because it's the first language I learned it this way. Because I used to learn languages either in like I don't know more slow way or like the typical like academic school way. But the first thing I did actually it was my first challenge was confusing it with Spanish, like speaking Portuñol. So I asked a friend of mine, Veronica, shout out if you're listening, who's teaching Polish to Ukrainians, which also have this problem of mutual, how's it called, like
Mm.
mutual
Confusion.
no understanding. Anyway, but it's like what should I do to not like fall into the Portuñol trap because it's a similar thing, and she told me just start like generating as early as possible. Start talking, start writing. Like don't
Mhm.
do it so much like passively because otherwise you're just gonna open your mouth and Spanish will come out even though you will understand anything in Portuguese. So I started by like shadowing a lot, like mostly listening and speaking, like almost no reading or writing, because I wanted to be able to talk to people and understand people in my trip. I didn't care about writing an essay in Portuguese.
Mm.
So I started listening a lot, and especially at the beginning, like after a few episodes of a podcast, my Spanish kind of like morphed into Portuguese. I realized how they pronounce things differently, so I kind of like started getting it, and I started like shadowing a lot and also trying to like so I was trying to repeat what they were saying in their accent in this specific accent and also tried like speaking a lot like as much as early as I could even with like a few words speaking and maybe using a Spanish word if I didn't know it and say it in a Portuguese accent or say it in English but just spouting out words as early as possible and I think it's been pretty successful so far. So I can already talk to Brazilians. It's been like more than 6 months. I haven't. I'm really horrible with discipline. So what Azia said with 20 minutes per day, I could never. I've never done that in my life. It's one of my goals maybe for this year.
Yeah.
But
I hope your boss is not listening to us.
no, well, that's a different thing.
Because
It's,
you get money for it.
yes,
Maybe someone should pay you for learning Portuguese. Does
it has
anyone
to be
do it?
it has to be money or food. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Well, there is some feijoada waiting for you in Brazil.
There's so many nice things in Minas Gerais more than feijoada, I think. Um, but one thing that helped a lot was actually the pronunciation, because I tried actually to use, again, to not fall into this trap of Spanish. I realized that the moment I said one word with a Spanish accent, my brain listened to it and thought, oh, we're speaking Spanish now, and just switched to Spanish.
And Spanish like looking like it's kind of like waiting there, like I'm
Lurking,
gonna
yeah.
It's my turn, my turn.
yeah, yeah.
So that's why I try to speak in like I realize that my accent is I try to like do the carioca accent like the one from Hugh. So I tried basically to do like the most different accent from European Spanish that I could. So like not even a single word sounds like Spanish for me. So and so far it's been working really well. So I almost never feel like Spanish coming to my Portuguese. So yeah, Yes, so it's I've separated it pretty well, and I can even switch from Portuguese to Spanish sometimes without a lot of trouble. So it's like this is also my tip to people who learn similar languages, like I don't know, Spanish and Italian. Looking at, yeah, it really helps if you use a very different pronunciation for each language because I'm exactamente, sí. Because I think that the brain basically kind of because the brain doesn't understand like text or like the language like the grammar is Italian, so I'm speaking Italian, but I think the brain understands sounds a lot more. So the moment it hears a sound that sounds like this language, it immediately tends to go to that language. So that's my theory, and my
Mm.
tip to also you guys: if you learn two languages from the same family, try to use a very distinct accent when speaking both of these.
There was just something to add here. There was in the beginning when I started learning German a few years ago. One maybe a YouTuber I cannot recall that I've seen that you should have, as you said, like a person that it was talking about a person, like a personality, like some you want to learn, like you want to switch to German. You have to recall how Merkel speaks or any other person that speaks like German in this case.
Your hands now.
Yeah.
You know
So yeah, so
the
you go back to this, and I realized what you said, Lemma. Here, I cannot. It doesn't happen with a lot of other languages, but my strongest one, let's say in this case, Spanish. I normally become another person, and I start like
You're
speaking
suddenly
even.
Jose.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jose Dimi, Jose Dimi. So it's not like kind of it can be. It's not pretending, but it's like switching to a role that you just
Mhm.
like put yourself into to the
You're
language.
putting like the Spanish hat, like the
Exactly,
sombrero.
exactly. Yes, I have the English
Or the
corporate
Spanish
hat, and then I
chanclas.
put like the yeah. Yes. Yep. I've seen
Mm.
that in Turkeys. I've seen that in Turkeys becoming another person. Yeah.
That's
There is
true.
a lot of debate on this topic. Like some people say that I've heard a lot of polyglots saying like, "Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the same person." But other people say, like you guys, they say, "Well, I actually am a different person." I also feel that there is like a little bit of different personality in me because the cultures where the languages come from, like some of them are completely opposite. Like I don't know, the Norwegian and the Brazilian, for example. So you can't like kind of act and think as a Norwegian when you learn Brazilian. Portuguese, this is just a road to
Hmm.
failure. So I think it is more of a desire, maybe also to understand the culture, to be
Yeah.
integrated, even though we're not talking about like an actual integration. We are not living in Brazil or in Japan or whatever, but like this is just to kind of to fit in, and so you
Hmm.
come there and yeah. Mm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And way of talking as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Reference Malta 2024. Those who know.
Which happens in the schools, and that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
probably we don't like it. Like we are four people here that we don't like it. Yeah, yeah,
Because you also like speak in a different way. I had this problem with German, for example, because I basically speak like written German, so it
yeah.
sounds like very, especially when I came here, it was like I was like really long sentences, complicated ways of saying things. And I know German has complicated ways of saying things, but I was making it even more complicated
It's
by
definitely
because
different.
I was never speaking German. I was always writing German and reading German, and then like 10 years after, I started speaking as well, and
Yeah.
it's not the best method, I would say.
It's not the best though. I get your point, but at least you had a passive, let's say, base of the language, so it was easier
Mhm.
for you to start speaking. But
It helped a lot with grammar and like the complicated stuff,
exactly,
like for example, grammar and everything was like a lot better than I would expect,
No,
even though it's a bit complicated. But it's ideally you would do both. Like you would not,
I would agree with
especially if
that.
you want to, like if you're learning a language for work or for living somewhere where you actually want to get at like a really good level and be able to speak without grammatical errors and stuff,
No,
you would have to do both. But usually people forget one of the two.
no. So I'm back to improving my one of my no one actually two of my languages, and I normally do probably you know that so far I know and I like to do plans and I like to follow some plans. And this year I said I'm not gonna do a plan for the whole year or like I will do a plan for the whole year like an overview, but I would break it down in three like in quarters. So I would like to see how it goes, and if I like it, I just continue. If I don't like it, I just go do something else. Because I realized that with Portuguese, as Telemachos mentioned about the challenge that
Yes.
we agreed on, um, I did. After the fourth month, I will start feeling a bit not boring. I have like a lot of things to learn in Portuguese, and I will continue eventually. But it seems like, as once Irena said, I'm a language butterfly, so I like to go from its language, one language to the other. So I think after I realized after 3 months I get a bit bored on one language and would like to go to something
Mhm.
else, even if it's like one of my current languages or a
And
new
you're
one.
missing a goal as well, I think. That's why.
What? Sorry.
And it's because like the goal kind of went away. So it's more
Could be as
difficult
well
to keep
because
going.
yeah. Right, right. But for example, for this year, I have the one that I'm doing right now. It's one at the same time. Right now, I'm doing German and Spanish and French. German is because I would like to for January, February, and March to like improve my German, and it's like I feel I have a good level of understanding and even speaking nowadays, but I'm not. I cannot say that I'm fluent in speaking. I cannot switch so easy as I can do with English or Greek or Spanish in this case. So I would like to reach this level of having all of them in a good level. These four languages that are the ones that I'm using more in my life. So that's the goal, and there's like a concrete goal. So I think I will focus more on that. Then friends is because I'm gonna have a trip with my partner in February in Brussels, and I just wanted to refresh some of the friends that I have, but I also would like to reach a level of being able to speak, not like the same as my Spanish or my German, but in a good level that I can talk about a topic or how was my weekend, which I can more or less do, but with not so much
Or like
fluency.
order Belgian
Uh,
fries.
or lunch
Don't
and
order
Belgian
French
friends, yes,
fries.
Or
exactly.
waffles.
Yeah.
The
And
conflict.
yes, yes, yes. For example, I noticed that in France, in German I'm more advanced on other levels, so I'm doing a lot of grammar. I'm looking back to grammar because I forgot a lot of the grammar, which is not that important for speaking, but it's nice if you want to reach a good level to have to miss these holes that are you don't have. You like a grammar or like a vocabulary or like enhance your vocabulary, enhance your grammar. So German is more like of getting into these small details. We're friends because I'm still like in not that a good level. I start using shadowing after also getting a bit influenced by Telemachos, but also other polyglots talking about shadowing and how to improve pronunciation, because I know that my pronunciation in French sucks. It's not sucks, but it's like not that good. So I would like to improve that. And one of the things that I start doing, it's called shadowing, which for the people that they don't know, it's like having a video or like a podcast. You listen to it and you repeat, you stop and you repeat until you reach. Yes, yes, and until the level you can be. I find it like it's easier when it's like a video, so you see also what is written down in their language, and then you speak again. And sometimes it's also nice when you can zoom in YouTube. You can zoom also in the mouth, and you can see how the mouth moves. So something new that I haven't used that before, and I start liking it. I don't know if it's there's like an improvement I eventually in the long run I think will have. And the other thing that I'm doing is also with friends start listening to more advanced podcasts where they talk about there's like a good one that talk about languages and language learning, which is a topic that you're interested in. And something that I want to add here is when you want to learn a language, you have to focus on something that you enjoy.
Hmm.
Because if
Mm.
you, I tried a lot of times to listen to topics like I don't know, like economics, and I'm not that good at economics. Even in English, sometimes I don't understand what they're talking about. So in a language that I don't understand so well, it's gonna be even more
Yeah.
difficult. So I try to go to topics that are easier for me, so I can have the motivation and also the like be happy to spend time on listening to that.
Hmm.
So
I think this is a very
yeah,
underrated advice. I think it is so, so, so crucial. Many people make the
yeah.
mistake of, for example, taking children books and like starting with that because they supposedly believe that the language or the level there is easier. First of all, it's not. And I remember
No.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's written for natives, and not even that. I remember like my German teacher sent me a book on like injections or vaccines or like whatever in German, and like it's not necessarily that. You're just gonna kill your motivation. So consume the content that is interesting for
That you
you,
like,
Hmm.
that you
that
enjoy.
that
Exactly.
corresponds to your interests. Very very good, Dimi. I agree.
I want to mention quite very short here, like the notebook method, for example, as well, where you're writing like a journal. I don't know if you do this as well, Dimi, with one of your languages, like where because you focus on the vocabulary that you actually of the things you do every day. It's
Mm.
a bit similar to that because, and again, if you listen to like language podcasts, then you also like you learn words like understand, speak, synonyms. I don't
Yeah.
know, like vocabulary that you're gonna use when you're talking to people. Hey, why are you learning French? And you will be able to say a bit. You're gonna be talking about
Exactly.
languages
Exactly.
with your language.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, normally when you talk about, that from the political conferences, you normally talk about your life. That everybody
Hmm.
normally knows how to talk about the life in any language or the language that you learn. If when you reach like a specific, let's say B1 level, but then you speak about
Yeah,
languages, right? That's
yeah.
the topic. So it's a good note, and thanks for adding that dilemma here. But also the other thing that I started doing that when it's like a podcast is difficult, I decrease the speed because a lot
Yeah.
of times the normal speed I find it difficult, so I put it to 0.8 or 0.9. So that's another thing that I do.
Hmm.
And and the last thing that I want to add is because I want the other plan for the year. I said to myself I want to improve two of my current languages plus Portuguese, continue maintaining it. And I want to also try a new language, which I've tried so many times in the past. But I think this time I will try again, see how it works. It's that would be Russian, and it's kind of half of the year. It's half of the
Ого.
year will be dedicated to Russian, and half of the year to improve the other two languages. And what I want to say, and back to what I mentioned also before about Japanese, you don't really need to. It's like language learning is not like a marriage. You don't have to like tie to one language. You want to
You don't
try.
have to
You want
commit.
to. Yeah, you don't have to commit to the language. You want to try.
That's a very Berlin phrase. That's a very Berlin analogy.
Those who
It's a good
don't
analogy,
know.
right? Like you don't have to commit. You just like try to learn some weeks.
Hmm.
It's like see how the language learn. Like learn the verbs conjugation, learn about like some grammar, basic grammar
Some
or
vocabulary,
if
for
the language
example.
vocabulary. Yeah, some like articles if the language has an article. And if you don't like it, just go to another one and just like try the next one and do the same thing.
You will know
So
some
that's what I
things.
will do with. Yeah, you learn some things at least. And I mean, even because I read like a basic level in Russian, I now listen to Russian and I understand words like vaxal or like things like that I just like listen randomly and say, okay,
No.
uh,
What's that word?
Vokzal.
vaxal, it doesn't
No,
exist.
no, no. It's
Vaxal.
Bahnhof in German, so no.
Ah, okay. but still, I think, like, for example, if you know a few words in Russian, or like how Russian works, you also know a bit about how Bulgarian works, maybe, or how like Polish works, or how
Yeah,
like
exactly.
other languages in that family, in that language branch also work.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my New Year goal. So improving the current ones and adding a new one, which might work, might not. I really like the Russian language. I like how it sounds. I like
Aw.
it's a beautiful one. So yeah, hopefully I will get that. And then we're gonna me and Tilemos we're gonna have exactly the same languages, speaking the same languages.
Just like at the beginning, like
Language bros.
Language bros.
Language twins.
Kura Bros and Language Bros.
Yeah,
And for
exactly.
those who don't know, when we met Dimi, we realized we speak almost exactly the same languages.
Yeah.
Like, we were like from the same country, living in the same city, started
Doing
working
the
in the
same
same
job.
company, doing the same job, and like speaking the
Yeah.
same languages, and going
Yeah.
to a
And now we have a tattoo together. We share tattoo.
A
going
brother from another mother.
yeah, Dimi.
Yeah.
But he was lost, because he's the last one that joined our group of friends. Like, Dimi, we always had this spot for you, but it was empty, and now you
Yes,
found
we
Yes,
had
home.
A
exactly.
Dimi shaped hole in our group.
Exactly. I felt the hole, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Ah. Just so you know, this is
Long.
my nickname on the website where we're recording. But yeah, like, it's nice to think that new year, new me, 2025. But I've had a pretty, I would say, rough start of the year, and I thought that it would be better, but there are some outside circumstances that just don't allow me to really enjoy it. And I give a lot of my energy to, like, job search and other things. So I'm just not, like, really capable of taking any new projects. And I feel also that we don't talk enough about this in the language learning community. Every time I come to the conferences or the events, and people are like, "What new language are you learning?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude. 2022, war in Ukraine, and then, like, and unemployment, and this and that." And it's like there are some, sometimes big things happening in one's life that, like, right now, I don't have the capacity. I repeat again, to undertake a new project, but I do maintain all my 13 languages on a certain level, and this requires a lot of time and a lot of work.
That's
Uh,
just at least three full-time jobs.
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have a job, like, I have like at least three full-time jobs already.
It would be
Yeah.
amazing
So
getting paid to learn languages and just that.
yeah,
Yeah.
who does that? Contact me.
We have
maybe
the best candidate here.
maybe I can open, like, OnlyFans, but for languages. Who still hasn't created a page like that? Like, you pay me, and then, like, I don't know, read something in Norwegian for you, but naked or something. Like, any language fetish, like, I don't know, or someone wants to, like, mix, like, Portuguese and, like, I don't know, Serbian. Like, for the money, I do it.
I want half the sentence to be in Norwegian and half the sentence in Swahili. Can you do that? I will pay you a lot of money for it.
Exactly. Yeah, or, like, I don't know, maybe people will buy, like, my handwriting in Arabic, like,
Mm.
making the analogy again to the popular page. Anyway, back to business. I do mainly two things. with my languages. First of all, shout out to a great app that was great until yesterday. And yes, I will say it, Tandem. Please get back the option where we can list all the languages that we know for free. Because now apparently you can only list one native language, one language that you know well, and one language that you're learning. I'm bilingual. I was born bilingual, so like, and now I have like only Russian as my native language. This does not correspond to the reality. Anyway, I used Tandem. I used to until yesterday. I used Tandem a lot. And I have a lot of actually like good friends from Tandem. Like, for me, Tandem has become so much more than an app. I feel like, again, like I could be having money from having this advertisement. But yeah, I have a Tandem partner for each language, like at least one, and we talk like for the most part at least once per week. So I don't have a partner for the Sami, for example, or like for Serbian. I don't feel like I need it. But for most languages that I feel that they need maintenance, like I don't know, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, this is what I do. Another thing that I do is that for those who know me, I'm an avid reader. I love reading books. At some point, maybe like 3 years ago, I had this mental break, what do you call it? Like barrier.
Mental
Yeah.
breakdown.
No, not yet. Mental barrier
Mental pause. Ah, mental break. Okay.
that I
So many
couldn't.
mental words.
I had a mental barrier that I could not read in my languages, and then at some point I said to myself, "But why not?" And then I just started doing it, and I've read books in almost all the languages that I speak, and it's definitely challenging, especially your first book, especially if your language is not at least B2. But you have to start at some point, and you have to start somehow. And I mostly read what I would read in English. So I read novels, or
Mhm.
sometimes even self-help books. Those are two things that I read: novels or self-help books. Uh,
Self-help books are very often recommended for language learning, I've heard.
because the language is usually quite simple, because they're trying to bring like kind of
Mhm.
like sometimes complex ideas, but in a really really simple words, like even in English. So then again, they would be written also easy in other languages. So this year I've already read one book in Italian, one book in Portuguese, and one book in Spanish.
Fucking, it's like already 16th of January. It's like 16 days. 3 books
We have
in this year.
like owned all of our like yearly goals for 2 years already.
I mean, exactly. And like those books were, as you can imagine, pretty short. Like each one was maybe 100 and 150 pages. But
Okay,
yes, I
easy,
also read
easy
fast.
peasy.
But
Nice, nice, good job, nice.
Yeah, thank you. So those are the two things that I mainly do, and the last one would probably be like, yes, as I mentioned, I have people for language exchange, and then I just because I live in the capital of Norway, it's a very multicultural city, so I just naturally have a lot of relationships, meaning friendships, not cheating. And I just meet a lot of friends, and we chat in all different languages about life. I have friends that I speak to in, let me count, in Serbian, in Spanish, in those are the first ones that come to my mind right now. But yeah, I could talk a lot of time, certain languages. I could have one episode for each language, and it's very, very interesting. But
You should do it when you talk Sami. Like I think I've never heard you talk in Sami.
all right, we can wrap up with that. Mu mielas tälle leiamas hui mielenkiintois episoda ja mun nuahpan hui ollu era birra ja mo duai mo di ahpa hehtet gelle ja na mun savanahte mi gula hedjit sahtet ahpat mait era.
What we're talking about before, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what I did. I
No,
said I
amazing.
just resumed the episode, and I said that I learned a lot about your language methods, and I hope that our listeners did that too.
Nice, nice. Yeah, exactly. We understand exactly what we said.
I mean, I would expect another, like, you contradicted yourself with the thing you've said previously, but it's okay. We will let you have it.
And the thing is, it's 25,000 people that speak it. No one's gonna know. You have to trust me.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, let's motivate each other in 2025.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Amazing. All right, dear listeners, have a good one and see you in the next episode. Ha det bra!
Ciao, ciao. Hasta luego.
Καλή συνέχεια.